Ho, 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 Indie Warriors, it's Christmas time and your final Dream Drop for the year. That's right, this is the last Dream Drop for 2025. Are you going to miss me? Well, don't worry, because next week we're going to have a roundup at the very same time of all of the exciting games for 2026 that we are amped about. That's right, a huge list of indies coming out in 2026. So don't fret, and then the Dream Drop will be back right after that episode. I'm Old Gamer Joe. If you are new to the channel, welcome. We're all about bringing a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. This list covers all the indie, AA, and niche games releasing for the week of December 22nd through the 28th of 2025. We release these videos at the beginning of each and every new week. This has been an amazing year for indie releases, so let's see if we can go out with a bang. But real quick, if you want to learn how you can support real people that make real things, head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, where your new indie gaming community is waiting for you. Alright, before we get into all of those last-minute Christmas indies, well, we want to take a quick moment to thank our wonderful indie sponsor for this episode. It's Dennis Johan Tales and their exciting indie action RPG, Fate of Fire, Kyvedy Guardiah. This epic adventure is available on Steam right now. And even better, there's a demo available for you to try before you buy. So check it out using our link right down there in the description box below. This cursed world has been overrun by shadows, and time is not on your side. You have just 7 days to guide 9 unique heroes towards victory. This old-school RPG features awesome turn-based battles, choices that matter in its dark, brooding story, and an epic soundtrack featuring over 40 grandiose musical compositions. If that weren't enough, the retro visuals will take you back to the good old days of gaming. Get down to that link in our description box below and add this one to your indie gaming collection today. But alright, it's on to the indies. Up first this week, space travel, base building, and pirate murder are the recipe for success in brand new space adventure game, Wreckborn. This procedurally generated solar system is full to the brim with asteroids begging to be built upon and mined into. There's pirate ships raring to be plundered and hostages desperate to be rescued. Fly about space in your ship to explore the free play universe, regaining control of the system and building up your supply lines. Bob about space to your heart's content when Wreckborn launches on the 22nd of December. Same date, different game. This next one is unfortunately only available on the MetaQuest, which I know will be a huge blow to those of us without one because Hello Kitty Skyland is rumored to be the best game of 2025. I kid, of course. This VR game lets Sanrio fans from all across the globe meet in Skylands to explore the world, interact with their favorite Hello Kitty characters, and immerse themselves into the colorful cat world. You can choose between a humanoid or a fluffy avatar as you meet with your friends to play a whole bunch of crazy minigames in VR multiplayer fun. Get your VR headsets ready for the 22nd. This next game is taking it really old school as Infinity is launching on the Game Boy Color. No, not a ROM for an emulator, it's an actual physical cartridge for those of us who still own a good old GBC. The RPG was originally developed in 2001, but as the Game Boy Color's lifespan ended, so did the development of Infinity. But here we are, 24 years later, and it's finally launching in its fullest capacity onto the console it was designed for. Gorgeous 8-bit graphics accompany a very tactical RPG and bring a taste of the millennium to any working Game Boy Colors across the world. You can get yourself a copy early this week. Nothing makes us feel quite as festive as shooting zombies in the face and chest with a gun, so luckily Quarantined Zombies launches on the 23rd to give us the perfect Christmas gift. Set in a post-apocalyptic Chicago, you are challenged with surviving this zombie onslaught for 30 days until the army arrives to save the day. You'll need to fix your car up to make it zombie-proof and battle through the wandering zombies in first-person shooting action in order to rescue your scientist brother. Explore the undead world when it launches this week. Crime doesn't pay unless you win a crime battle royale, of course, in which case you get paid big time. The Joker's game is an upcoming FMV, that's full motion video for the uninitiated, that is from the perspective of Jack, a man who is drowning in debt and joins a lethal criminal battle royale along with a whole host of interesting characters. You'll need to make the right choices to both survive and, more importantly, smooch the girl of your dreams, whichever of the 4 available options that may be. The trailer is suitably cheesy, and I'm sure the full game will be high-stakes cheese as well. Check out the Joker's game and kiss your way to victory when it launches on the 23rd. Are you ready to get into the holiday spirit this week? Well, Holiday Harry may or may not be what you're looking for, depending how bloody you like your Christmas to be. Surely dinner with the family can't go that badly, right? Holiday Harry is seemingly what happens when your elf on a shelf starts taking some tips from Chucky. The game takes inspiration from late 90s horror classics and includes fixed camera angles, optional CRT filters, low poly visuals, and of course, a knife-wielding maniac. This looks to be a tense thriller that's supposedly meant to be completed in one sitting, so hopefully it can bring a bit of holiday fear to you this week when it releases on the 23rd. Our next little title looks a lot less dark and is an asymmetrical multiplayer game that isn't horror-focused, which seems to be a rare find these days. 4 cute little animals will team up in 4v2 multiplayer as they work together to complete objectives and escape Prison Island, all while 2 robot players work to capture them and send them into time out. This is PRITTO Prisoner, and thankfully the animals have access to potty powers? Do I want to know what that is? I'm not sure, but maybe I'll find out when PRITTO Prisoner releases on the 24th. Next up is Game of Fate 3, Clash of Crowns, an intense-looking FMV game that promises over 13 hours of story, dozens of different endings, and a huge amount of narrative branching as your choices alter events. A 200,000-word script is pretty impressive for an indie title, though its AI disclosure does indicate that AI played a fairly heavy role in the game's development. Hopefully it's still worth a look for those interested when it releases on the 24th. The next game is seemingly a holiday gift to would-be fans, as it's a cozy and completely free title with absolutely no in-game purchases. This is Campoca, a wholesome experience about a cozy campsite designed to make every interaction bring a smile to your face. Participate in all sorts of feel-good activities, and use your rewards to decorate your campsite when Campoca releases on the 24th. Time for some retro shooting with our next release, Terminal Breach Final Dawn, which takes place in the year 2436 on an advanced international space station called Dawn, which has become a scientific research hub. And what do these scientists research? Weapons, of course. Now communication has suddenly been lost, and it's up to you to be a member of an elite Marine squad brought in to figure out what's going on. Terminal Breach Final Dawn includes over 20 levels, a cinematic science fiction story, and a completely original soundtrack. Check it out when it arrives on Steam on the 24th. And next on the list is Spire Tower Defense, a roguelite tower defense game where each and every run will allow you to gain permanent upgrades that will bring you closer to victory. With tons of unique perks available to upgrade yourself each run, Spire Tower Defense looks primed to entice tower defense fans when it lands on, the 24th. Are you ready to traverse some creepy liminal spaces with your friends, too? Then keep an eye on the Backrooms Deluxe 2, a new spin on the Backrooms Deluxe that aims to expand levels, mechanics, and AI, as well as offering a much more easy-to-jump-into multiplayer experience. There are also roguelite elements with the addition of permadeath, making this a tense way to play an already creepy-looking title. Check it out when it releases this week. If your Christmas day is feeling just a little bit too cozy, then perhaps psychological horror game Decomposition is the perfect tonic to all that gross joy that's going around. This first-person survival game faces you off against a deadly cult known as the Dawnbringers, who can only be stopped by our protagonist Lucy. Lucy has to solve puzzles, traverse mazes, and take out enemies. You can grab this one on Christmas Day. Music and romance go hand in hand, and the brand new rhythm action romance sim Concerto on white. Cajon story proves just that. You play as a brand new student at a music academy who finds themselves having to battle for space in the elite clubs at the school. There are live music showdown boss fights, 4-player jam sessions, and even use a real little drum box to play all the battles with. I'm sure all the suitors you encounter will also be suitably saucy. Play Concerto on white Cajon story when it drops on December 26th. And last but not least, take control of a completely out-of-whack AI machine in AI Kill Alice. You must take down your foe using a variety of different commands, or else, just as the title implies, the AI will kill you. Find solutions and secrets as you solve unique puzzles in this very interesting indie thriller that seems to be coming to us from a solo developer, or at the least a very small team, as it is credited to Adrian Badat. And no, it appears that no actual AI was used during the making of this game. At least there's no disclosure listed. But that's gonna do it for this week, folks. We hope you found an amazing indie game to add to your library. Over this wonderful holiday break, All Gamer Joe's gonna take a little bit of a rest, but we will see you next week with those exciting 2026 indie releases. A Merry Christmas to all, and voice to the voiceless.